now for something different. I'm not about to start pretending that I'm a motoring journalist all of a sudden, but I drive about 90,000 kilometres a year, and occasionally I get to drive something a bit different. And today I find myself sat in a Fiat 500, which is a car that I've always liked the look of ever since they first came out. And today, for a few days, I've got one as a hire car. And when I got in it this morning, I thought, yeah, this is actually quite nice. I think it's quite a pretty car from the outside. And I sat in it, and the seats have got a nice contour to it. You sit down in the seat, they got a nice bit of lateral support. I feel quite comfortable around my back, which is quite important for me. A lot of seats don't feel comfortable for me. Nice chunky steering wheel, basic, simple layout of buttons on the steering wheel. Nice little touch whereby you slide back a little door for your USB socket. You can then plug your iPhone in, and it becomes hands-free with the controls on the steering wheel. I like that. Nice chunky gear knob, nice smooth gear change. It's the 1.2 4-cylinder petrol engine, which in this feels way underpowered. A little bit. I'm a big fan of the Pandas. I've driven quite a few Pandas with 1.2 engines, and when they get a few miles under the belt and they get the cobwebs blown out, and they really do go quite well for a small car with a small engine. This, however, this just feels a little bit dead. This really feels like it needs a kick up the ass. Whether it's because it's fresh out the box or it's just underpowered, it's too early to tell. Other nice bits about the layout of the interior of the car, there's a nice big chunk of aluminium across the dash with the 500 logo on the passenger side. That looks quite nice. I don't like the door panels. Big heavy slabs of rigid plastic for the door panels. There's no giving them, there's no softness to it. It almost feels like that belongs in a tractor or a truck or a dump truck or something like that. I don't know why they've done that. Maybe they're structural and there's a reason for it, but I don't like it. These internal door handles, I don't like those. They seem too over-engineered and unnecessary for what they do. The exterior door handles appear to be aluminium, though they could be anodized plastic. They feel nice, they look nice, and that works with the rest of the car. The car's in a kind of a Rosso red, looks lovely. It's got nice Fiat 500 alloy wheels finished in charcoal, and they look great. But the car really, do you know, when you're driving down the motorway in a straight line, it tends to wander slightly. It either wants to go slightly to the left over a long distance or slightly to the right. I'm not really used to driving a front wheel drive. I've got a little front wheel drive van, and that kind of goes where you point it. It doesn't wander, but this it's almost like it's got a high spot on the rack, so it's either to the left or to the right. Also, I think this is quite hard on fuel. I know the 1.2 Pandas can be quite hard on fuel if you drive them on. I've been driving this quite sensibly this morning. I've done about just over 100 miles with it so far, and I think it's using a drop of fuel. Driving down the motorway, it's indicating it's doing about 42, 44 to the gallon at a constant 70 to 75 miles an hour, which to me is a little bit heavy for a car of its size. I would expect something probably in the mid-50s. As soon as you start driving it on through the gears, then you can kiss goodbye to any economy at all. Quite often see the instantaneous reading down in the teens, early 20s. Time will tell. It's not the car that I thought it was. Like I say, I think it's a pretty car, lovely car to look at. Inside, I'm quite a big guy. I'm struggling to find a room to really get comfortable. I keep hitting the brake pedal by mistake when I dip the clutch, which is fairly uncomfortable. there are nice bits. There's nice detail like this, but then you've got this garish, cheap red plastic on the armrest, and I suspect that won't actually be very durable. So I think all in all, a bit of a disappointment. Sorry, Fiat, need to rethink this one a little bit.